So, the last episode we released was a 3 p.m. with Seth Mitchell. Before that was a 3 a.m. episode where I said that I was going to tell a drug story. Now, I'm going to tell that right now.
Ooh.
Now, I got this from a Reddit user, and it was an AMA about what is the biggest get the out moment you've ever had in your life. And this story came along. And this is 25, 30 years ago. He's 15 years old, and he's just moved to a new town. He goes to school his first day, makes a couple friends with some kids who seem like they're really nice. And they invite him to come hang out at his house like that weekend. So he goes over to the friend's house. They're like playing video games. He mentioned specifically eating pizza. And they're just chilling. And then at one point, one of the friends is like, yo, let's go over to Mike's and see if we can buy some weed. So he's like, I don't know, but then gets kind of roped into it. So they all get in the car and they head over to Mike's.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. So Mike's house, if we'll call it that right now, is out in the middle of nowhere. And he didn't say a location for this story, but for some reason I imagined like a Michigan or Wisconsin type area because of the rest of the story. With that being said, it's also mid-school year, so it's in the winter and snowing outside. They're headed out into the woods. They get to Mike's house, and Mike's house is this trailer out in the middle of nowhere. They pull up, they go and knock on the door. Mike opens it, and he describes him as kind of like this, like lanky, skinny, wild-eyed dude, just with like tats. And he's like, yeah, come on in. And he's got like a bunch of other people there in the trailer as well. And this kid, this 15-year-old kid, he's kind of a bigger kid, plays football or whatever. And Mike is like kind of like sizing him up. It's like, bro, you look like a big dude. Do you like fight? And he's like, no, kind of feeling uncomfortable. He's like, yeah, you want to fight me? He's like, no. But then Mike, throughout the rest of the night, starts telling people that kid, the new kid, is going to fight him.
Yikes.
So that continues to happen. Now, he kind of thought it was just joking. His friends think that it's joking. And they kind of chill there for a little bit. And eventually, they get down to business. Like, hey, Mike, can we buy some weed? And he's like, no, I'll have a drink first. And so he like starts passing out warm beers to the kids. And this kid's never drank before.
This is so sus, dude.
So sus.
I'm uncomfortable.
And I mean, it's kind of like this prototypical like white trash trailer too. So like if you think the trap house that we were living in, but a trailer. So the couches had to have come from a Goodwill up there on like some cinder blocks for some stadium seating. And it's just in general disarray. Now, they get offered the drinks. The kid's like, I've never drank before. He doesn't tell them that. Eventually chokes down a warm beer, just kind of like trying to get it out of the way. And then like they start like smoking weed and stuff too. So they're all getting high, drinking, all of this. And eventually they ask him if they can buy some more weed to then leave. And Mike all of a sudden freaks out. But he kind of directs it toward the new kid. He's like, bro, this kid's a narc. And I'm going to need you to strip down to prove you're not wearing a wire to this new kid. And he's feeling uncomfortable as fuck right now. And now being told he's a narc to strip down in this white trash trailer park in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And Mike's like, okay, well, there's another way to prove it. You're going to smoke some meth with me.
Woo!
So he like goes into the back room to go and get some meth.
Casual, dude.
Just
From alcohol to meth.
real quick.
It really is a gateway drug, dude. Dare is right.
One giant step for mankind.
Just say no. But anyways, he heads into the back, and now this kid is kind of like he's trying to figure out a way to get out. But there's like this crew that's already there that's standing in the way of the door, stuff like that. He noticed that down dark hallway to the other side of the trailer that Mike went is a laundry room and then this door that looks like it's boarded up. And so without thinking about it, he runs down this hallway, kicks the door and it busts open. And he jumps out into the snow and just starts running. And as he's running, he can hear Mike yelling. And then all of a sudden he starts hearing gunshots going off in the night. He starts running, and he said that it was moonlit enough to where he could kind of see where he was going. He tries to get back to the main road, but then stay off of the road so no one could see him. But it's also snowing and just like 2 feet of snow, and he's wearing jeans, just soaked jeans now at this point.
Dude, where are his homies?
He
So-
like barely knows these kids.
The kids he didn't know that are still in the trailer as far as he knows. So he is like off this main road, just trying to get as far away as he can. And he sees like a couple cars go by. He doesn't notice any that are Mike. He's hoping that at least like a cop car will go by. He can tell him what's going on, and then they can at least get him home.
And narc.
That's what he was thinking, bro. Now,
So Mike is right, dude.
So deserve that.
he sees this car coming up slowly, much slower than the listed speed limit. And he kind of peeks over the snowbank to kind of see who it is, and it's his friend's van. So his friend somehow got out of the trailer, and they're now going home. He kind of waves them down as he noticed that there's no one else in the car besides his friends he came with.
Okay, that's what I was worried that Mike was in there.
He runs to the car, gets in, they drive away. And they're like, right after you ran, Mike and his friends freaked out, jumped and started chasing after you. And then you got back on the main road for a little bit, so they lost you because there was no tracks on that main road. But then when that happened, we ran out the main door because all of the people who were blocking it were gone, and we just took off and then parked somewhere. And then once they thought that area was clear, they came after him. They picked him up, never went to go buy weed from Mike again. But then a few weeks later, Mike and his homies were busted by the police. They came over and just like seized a bunch of drugs and threw him in jail. He said that years later, he was working at a random store in this town, and he sees Mike come into the store. And he doesn't know if he recognizes him anymore because he kind of like grown a beard, stuff like that. And eventually when Mike comes to the checkout, he's like, man, you look like a big kid. You fight?
Oh my gosh.
And that was where he ended that story. That was the last thing he included in his story.
Dude, I wonder, what about the gunshots?
What do you mean? What about him?
Like, did the friends explain the gunshots at all or anything? Like,
They didn't explain it. They just said they came chasing after you. I assume that they just were
dude, Mike is not chill, bro.
not chill at all, bro.
As 2017 would say, no chill.
So that's his biggest GTFO moment.
Ugh.
Something's never changed, dude. Something's never changed.
I don't want to be a stickler about drugs and stuff. Like, do your own thing, you know? Try to, like,
Yeah.
manage your whatever. But having said that, every situation, every party I've been in, and there's substances there more than alcohol and weed, things just escalate so fast.
Yeah.
So one time we in high school, one of my friends had a large house, and right next to her large house, she had a very large pool house. And she already had two older brothers who threw parties all through high school, and they were way crazier than us. So we cleaned out the pool house. We put in huge speakers, and we called it the Embassy. That was our club. So every weekend for a good, I don't know, several months, we were throwing like ragers in this party. And they were really fun. It was always chill. We were dancing. Back then we were crumping. We were jerking to the new boys. That's not sexual. I'm sure some of that went on. Anyway.
You liar.
You never catch me. And then it started getting bigger and bigger, right? And I was always the only sober one running around just making sure everyone's not dying, things like that.
DD, bro.
Yeah. Well, one night, someone's older brother gets invited, his friends gets invited, and all of a sudden, 70 people are there who I don't know. And these fools, everyone in there was like my classmates and stuff, and then all of a sudden, everyone there has like neck tattoos. There were like loked out vatos. There was like dudes with shaved heads, stuff like that. Like, it was getting sketch. I'm running around stopping people from stealing. I stopped several groups from doing a ton of cocaine in the bathroom. And while I'm doing this, trying to figure it all out, making sure everyone's okay, someone tells me that 2 dudes are getting into a fight out at the pool. I run out there, and these 2 dudes are screaming in each other's face. And they look hard as hell, you know? And one of them I know is the younger brother of like a straight up gang member. I'm like, oh shit. And at one, I like jump in the middle and I'm like, yo, let's chill. Like, no fighting. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking stab you. Like, he pulls out a knife and threatens to stab him by the pool. And I'm in the middle and I'm like, yo, let's chill. It's all good. And the dude who was like, stab me then, takes his shirt off and like starts running up. He's like, stab me. I'm like, oh my gosh. Basically what happens is hella homies run up, grab them, and take them. But I had heard later on those 2 had settled up somewhere else. Anyway, I don't know any about that, whatever. That whole story was just to illustrate, like, it's all fun and games until it's not. And when it's not, it happens fast. And it's easier to just avoid those situations, in my opinion.
From 0 to meth real quick.
Yeah, bro.
I have a friend who just had something similar like that happen this past weekend.
What?
Yeah. They were just having a party, get together, few friends, 15 people. And then as the night went on, more and more people started coming to the house, people she had never seen in her life.
And where's this at?
In Salt Lake. Oh, South Salt Lake.
Dang, dude.
And after a while, people are locking themselves in bedrooms, in the bathrooms. People are bringing all different types of paraphernalia. She gets a real bad feeling, decides to leave. She walks out, and she is a minute too late because she walks right into the cops. Oh. And it's a sting op. Oh. Ton of cops wearing vests. They rush into the house. They ID everybody. Half the kids got out, hopped the fence in the backyard, and ran away.
Low-key, those were my favorite parts of parties in high school.
Yeah.
My shoes were always tied. I was ready.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
I'd be laced up.
Yeah.
And laced up.
Ooh.
No. Yeah, I don't know. People do whatever they want. Just know what you're getting into. Know your drugs. Be safe. Look out for each other.
Cool.
And that's our message to you.
Be safe.
I have
Watch out
another
for
one.
each
Sorry.
other.
It reminded me. I've been at a party in the north side before where something happened and everyone just started trashing the house and hella dudes just start pissing on the couch
Whoa, what?
and like ruin the house. I was like, yikes, I'm out. See ya. I was at a party once in the rich side of town, and before I know it, I'm looking around and like 10, 15 people, I don't think they orchestrated it at all. It was just kind of in the air, just started robbing the house. And someone I know, he's like, well, I'm going to get in on it. So he walked into a room and came out, and he's like, I got something good. And it was a Game Boy with like the yellow edition Pokemon game. We're like,
The original.
yeah, bro. And he was like, hell yeah. And like
Where you
ran.
get to choose a Pokemon to follow you throughout the game.
He was so stoked and took off. And I was like, you
nerd ass.
you're a bad person. But anyway,
Oh, man.
party it's a young person's sport, and it doesn't always end up with winners. Ooh,
Oh.
wow.
Wow.
It's so deep, bro.
Wow. I'm 14 and this is deep.
Yeah.
No. And I realized like that advice you just gave too is like, if you're in the frat phase, cool. And those are probably deaf ears that this will fall upon. But it's
Well,
like,
we used to throw hella parties, so it's like
yeah.
you weren't about to tell us to stop. But I just be aware. I don't know.
Yeah. Be aware.
And watch out for your friends.
Yeah.
Cool. That's gnarly.
Dude, yeah, I was reading this, and as it escalated, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was trying to put myself in their shoes, and I was just like, bro.
Yeah.
So many times, red flag, would have GTFO'd already.
Oh, get checked. You good?
Yep.